Manila Bulletin, Ali Vicori mula po sa Tribune, Bob Dungo, Philstar, Ed Gumban, Abante, John Solis, Manila Standard, Norman Araga, mula po sa Hataw, Bongson, People's Journal, Jerry Tan, Philippine Daily Inquirer, Marian Bermudez. Atin din po binabati mula po sa Raptor, Ms. Pia Ronada, Ulysses Fontanares, at Noel Abuel. Atin din po binabati Dave Pasit mula po sa Bombo Radio, Benjamin Fuentes, Emmanuel Mortega ng RMN, Gina Mape ng DWWW, Boy Gonzalez ng DZRH, Norman Bequia ng Radio Veritas, at Rene Maliwat ng DZRJ. Atin din pong binabati ang ating mga kaibigang vloggers. We have Mark Gaboa, Shami Rex, Louis Gutierrez, Paul Parol, Dr. Marieta Santos. Ang pagbati rin po natin ng magandang umaga sa ating mga foreign correspondents. Kasama po natin Richard, Karen Dema, Adrian Portugal, and Lorenza Lasaba. Kasama rin po natin mula sa Manila News, si Adrian Go, New York Times, Jason Philip Gutierrez, mula po sa GG Press, Joanna Palianan, Associated Press, Joel Calupitan, and Vicente Gonzalez.
Kaya nga nagpaturo ako.
Yung assistant ko. Isa madalas
Mga kasama ang pagdating po ng ating minamahal na Yorme Isko Moreno Dumagoso, isang masigabong palakpakan. Mga kasama, sa loob po ng 2 minuto ay magsisimula na po ang ating programa, kaya inaaniyahan po natin na bawat isa na maghanda. Muli po, panatilihin po natin ang physical distancing at ang pagsuot ng face mask sa ikaliligtas ng bawat isa. Maraming salamat po. Ating pong inaaniyahan ang iba po nating kaibigan mula sa media na maaari po nating gamitin ang silya dito po sa harapan, ang bakanting lamesa. Maraming salamat po. Muli po sa ating po mga kasama, kaibigan, panatilihin po natin ang pagtugon sa physical distancing para po sa ikaliligtas sa bawat isa. Maraming salamat po. Magandang umaga po muli sa lahat. Ako po si Camille Escanio, ang inyong tagapagpakilala at nais po namin kayong pasalamatan sa inyong pagdating sa umagang ito upang saksihan at mapakinggan ang bilis kilos 10-point economic agenda. Mga kasama, sa pagsisimula po ng ating programa sa umagang ito, ay atin pong mapapakinggan kung paano nabuo ang 10-point economic agenda. I would like to invite on stage the veteran political and campaign strategist who was actively involved in the victorious presidential run of Rodrigo Duterte in 2016, Noynoy Aquino in 2010, Erap Estrada in 1998, and Cory Aquino in the 1986 snap elections. The former resident representative, equivalent to ambassador to Taiwan, is the now campaign chief and political strategist of Team Isko Moreno. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Ambassador Lito Banayo.
Ito pong 10-point economic agenda na ito ay nagsimula noong Agosto pa ng nakaraang taon, 2021. Nag-umpisa po ito na nangumbida si Mayor Isko Moreno ng a series of meetings ng mga economists, academicians from different fields of specialization, professionals in health, housing, education, agriculture, tourism, the environment, even IT experts. At pagkatapos po noon ng initial meetings nila where they gave us several inputs, tatandaan po ninyo na nag-umpisa naman kami ni si Mayor Isko Moreno at si Doc Willie by this time September na ito, nag-umpisa ng listening tour around several regions, several provinces. The purpose of which was to listen naman to the people. No? Kasi kuminsan yung sinasabi ng mga ekonomista, sinasabi ng mga experts or mga academicians, masyadong esoteric or hindi naman akma doon sa realities on the ground. So we had to validate what the initial drafts that were sent to us. Binavalidate naman ni Mayor Isko, ni Doc Willie at ng aming team sa mga magsasaka, mga mangingisda, small and medium scale businessmen, at iba't iba pang sektor. Sinangguni din namin ang mga dating secretaries, cabinet secretaries at dating undersecretaries ng 5 presidencies. 5 different presidencies. Magkakaaway pa itong mga presidents na ito dati politically, pero may mga ilan sa kanila na talagang tumulong para mabuo ang isang economic agenda na akma doon naman sa napakita ni Mayor Isko bilang alkalde ng Maynila. Kasi hindi pwedeng yung sinasabi mong agenda ay hindi naman akma dun sa nagawa mo bilang mayor. So that was important for us na kinakailangan, gaya ng laging sinasabi ni Mayor Isko, may resibo o sa madaling salita, may pruweba. Kung ano yung nagawa sa Maynila, kaya mo bang i-scale up? Kaya mo bang i-duplicate all over the country? The figures that were used here, bibigyan din naman kayo ng hard copies. The figures that were used here were all of these came from official data of NEDA or the Philippine Statistics Authority. The projections are given also to you in terms of what we intend to achieve or what he intends to achieve after first 2 years, the first 6 years. All of these, of course, are based on what the mayor always calls it, the minimum basic needs ng katauhan at sambayanan. At ito yung tinatawag naman natin in more technical terms ngayon na the Human Development Index. Pero yung Human Development Index, kung gusto mo marating yung mga yon, maibigay yun sa sambayanan, kinakailangan mo mag-create ng wealth. Kinakailangan mo i-grow ang economy. The economy has to grow significantly so that meron ka namang pangtustos dun sa mga pangako mo na akma sa Human Development Index. And finally, basis of all this is good governance, transparency, accountability. Pero may dinagdag si Mayor Isko dito na napaka-importante na naumpisahan din naman niya sa Maynila. At yun ay yung digitalization, the adoption of better technology, innovation, innovation, innovation. At the bottom of this. So makikita ninyo sa ipapakita naming audiovisual presentation, followed of course by hard copies that we will be giving to you afterwards, kung paano ito na-wrap around the 10-point economic agenda na tinawagan naming bilis kilos. Maraming salamat po.
Muli, maraming salamat po, Ambassador Lito Banayo. Bigyan po natin siya ng masigabong palakpakan. Ngayon naman po, ating pong pinakikiusapan ng ating pong mga kasama na i-silent mode po ang kanilang mga cellphone sa pagpapatuloy po ng ating programa sa umagang ito. Nais ko rin pong batiin ng isang magandang umaga ang Chairman of Aksyon Demokratiko, Mr. Ernest Ramel. He was a former Assistant Secretary in the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Political Affairs. As Secretary General of Aksyon Demokratiko, he was involved in the electoral campaign of several local candidates. When he became party chairman, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno joined Aksyon, eventually becoming party president. Once again, good morning po, Mr. Ernest Ramel. Sa pagkakataong ito, mga kasama, nais ko pong ibigay sa inyo ang tunay na solusyon at mabilis obaksyon. Ang susunod na Pangulo ng Pilipinas, isang masigabong palakpakan para kay Mayor Isko Moreno Domagoso.
Thank you. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa aming headquarters. Ito na po yung aming magiging parang pangalawang tahanan sa darating na ilang buwan. Itong 90-day rigorous at napakahirap na kampanya because we really need to adjust, abide by some rules and regulations. But again, this morning we would like to welcome each and every one of you from the members of the press. At from time to time, dito na rin po namin kayo kikitahin. Dahil marami po sa inyo ay nagre-request ng interview with me. So para naman ma-accommodate namin kayo as many as possible. So ito yung aming tahanan. And I would like to get your attention to the video presentation. And later on, after the presentation, pipilitin namin sagutin ng inyong mga katanungan o baka meron kayong pagtitinaw na nais maliwanagan at we'll be happy to be answer it. And Doc Willie and I and the team, Carl Balita, Jopet Season and Samira Gutok will answer your questions later on. So muli, welcome to our headquarters, modest headquarters. And huwag kayong mag-aalinlangan o kayong gawin niyo itong parang bahay ninyo. No? Lagi kayong, sana maparamdam namin na lagi kayong welcome dito sa aming campaign team headquarters. Maraming salamat at pagpalain nawa kayo ng pong may kapal. Good morning.
Maraming salamat po, Mayor Isko Moreno Domagoso. Ngayon naman po mga kasama, atin pong inaaniyahan ng bawat isa na tumingin lamang po sa screen at atin pong sabay-sabay na panuorin ang Bilis Kilos 10-point economic agenda. Lights off please and let us all watch this.
Kailan baguhin ako sa buhay natin? Mahirap ang mangarap, pero huwag kang kukurap. Posible lang totoohin mga pangako sa'kin. Hindi kwento, hindi bola. kailang baguhin tapos ng buhay natin. Mahirap ang mangarap, pero huwag kang kukurap. Posible ang toohan, mga pangako sa'kin. Hindi kwento, hindi bola, solusyon ay pruweba na. Sulong lamang, huwag pakinggan sa iyong puso ang sigaw ng ating posible. Posible kayang lagpasan lahat ng inaasahan. Sa husgang paghamon, may bilis na aksyon. Sulong lamang, huwag pakinggan sa iyong puso ang sigaw ng ating posible. Sulong isko, huwag susunod. Tunay na solusyon, tunay na mabilis umaksyon. Posible. Posible kailang baguhin agos ng buhay natin. Mahirap ang mangarap, pero huwag kang kukurap. Posible ang toohan, mga pangako sa'kin. Hindi kwento, hindi bola, solusyon ay pruweba na. Sulong lamang, huwag pakinggan sa iyong puso ang sigaw ng ating posible. Posible kayang lagpasan lahat ng inaasahan. Sa husgang paghamon, may bilis na aksyon. Sulong lamang, huwag pakinggan sa iyong puso ang sigaw ng ating
mag-iayos na for the press conference. Habang inaayos yung table, yung ground rules natin sa press conference natin, yung first round of questions should focus on the 10-point economic agenda. Kasi yun talaga yung event natin for today. Then, meron tayong dalawang microphones. I would suggest, kung mauuna yung kanan, dito sa kaliwa, may tatayo na para mabilis. Then, you can ask one question and a follow-up question. Then, next na yung magtatanong. After the first round, tungkol sa bilis kilos, you can ask questions on other issues. So, pagbigyan muna natin ng bilis kilos. Then, after ng press conference, i-inaugurate ni Mayor Isko at ng slate niya yung bagong media center na nasa likod niya. Okay? Upo muna yung mga resource persons. Tsaka si Mayor.
Ay, upo pala sila sa inyo. Nakita mo lang ako. Di ba sila?
Sige, first question. You can ask these other guests here. Halimbawa, when it comes to health, si Doc Willie. When it comes to education, si Doc Carl, who is also a registered nurse and midwife. When it comes to political inclusion, si Samira Gutok. And pagkayong tungkol sa laws, mataas si Jopet Season. And of course, you can also ask for political questions to the campaign head of Team Isko, Ambassador Lito Banayo, and the chairman of Action Democratico, Ernest Ramel. First question? Punta lang kayo sa mic.
Good morning sa mga sectorables po natin.
Sure.
Dito po sa 10-point agenda na ito, alin po rito sa tingin nyo yung pinaka-urgent at talagang uunahin na tututukan po natin, Yorme, and then why? Alin po dito sa 10-point agenda na ito yung uunahin nyo at pinaka-urgent na tututukan ninyo, and then why?
Yeah, again, thank you for that question. As you all know, life and livelihood will be the main focus and immediately will be attended to. May awa ang Diyos, malaring kami ni Dr. Willie. So, yung kasalukuyang sitwasyon, if there's continuing threat or presence of COVID-19 a few months from now, again and again, we will continue to look at it seriously and try to address it para mapapanatag natin yung ating mga kababayan na patuto tayo makapamuhay na may COVID-19. At the same time, yung kabuhayan. Dahil mararamdaman na natin yung epekto ng post-COVID, economically speaking. In fact, sinisiyasat ko nga yung nabalitaan ko nung isang araw na yung presyo ng fertilizer about 900 plus a year ago. Less than 24 months, 2,000 plus na ang presyo ng fertilizer. And this will affect the cost of food production. Sa kawawa dito yung una, mga magsasaka. Pangalawa, yung consumer. So that's why job opportunity must be made available. A lot of business lost their business, jobs were lost. Then the price of basic commodity, especially yung pagkain, maapektuhan yung fertilizer na yan. And I hope, I think agencies of government, by this time, if it is true that it's been a year now, more than a year now, na tumataas yung presyo ng fertilizer. So talagang mararamdaman natin yung post-economic, I can honestly say bad economic effect of the pandemic. No? Kaya life and livelihood, Romel, ang mararamdaman ninyong una namin pagtutuunan ni Doc Willie at 10 ng aking mga kasamang senador in the next 2 years. Then alongside with it, the minimum basic needs, housing, more housing, more schools, more hospitals. So as you all know, Romel, I'm an MBN guy. Sabi nga ng mga ekonomista ngayon, bago na raw yung word, Human Development Index. But still, I do believe, para mapapanatag ang tao, itong mga bagay na pangunahin na kinakailangan ng bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Ito yung mapagpuhunanan ng pamahalaan.
May access sa ibang senators, additional. Up here. Yeah. Kayo na kayo, you touch the microphone.
Hello, good morning sa lahat. Mayor, I just have 2 sets of questions. First is yung sa health and the second one is dun sa livable cities. You said you would increase yung salaries of medical workers. Number 1, by how much yung increase and will the private hospitals also be affected? How will you do that when yun nga yung PhilHealth may issues? So, can you just give us a number, maybe even just maybe like an estimate, like double their salaries? And paano yung SRA, may SRA ba ba or tatanggalin mo na yun? Exactly.
Well, una, proportion. Dapat yung sweldo nakakapamuhay ng pamilya. Kung anong sama ng inflation effect sa bawat individual o sa pamilya, o dapat yung kanya namang kinikita makatutugon sa kanyang pangangailangan. Hindi tayo pwedeng tumigil kasi na same thing over and over again, yun lang ang hanap buhay niya, o tapos malaki pa yung risk, yung hazard, occupational hazard. So I think it's high time to give some premium to our medical frontliners and to encourage medical professionals not to go abroad, and there will be an opportunity here for them to stay and hopefully ma-achieve natin yung preferred ratio of a medical frontliner per citizen. So that's one. Yung SRA tutuloy naman yun. Yung pangatlo, yung PhilHealth talaga. This is an assurance to the medical industry or health industry that there is funds available and healthy management of the finances of PhilHealth. That's why I made mention we'll put a financial guide in that GOCC.
But Mayor, like for the private hospitals, kasi it's a business, right? So
Well,
it's up to
the government cannot intervene with the business of the private, but we can always also help to regulate.
So will you ask for a law that mandates an increase in salaries? How exactly will you do it?
If there is a needed law for that, then so be it. But for the meantime, what matter most to me is yung katatayuan na ating mga medical professional sa public hospital. Because let's be honest to one another, I think the private hospital or most if not all are having a very comfortable salary from their respective corporation. But alam natin sa public healthcare, medyo argabyado. That's why they are being lured to go out of the country. There is an opportunity to be part of their healthcare system. So if we are going to be competitive economically, for each individual will be part of our medical front lines, then I think hindi na sila malalayo sa kanilang bansa.
Second question, Mayor. You mentioned you want a well-planned cities. So, paano yung gagawin in the context of Metro Manila, which we know is 17 mayors, diba, iba-ibang zoning rules, and then, for example, EDSA traffic. Ano yung solution mo dun? Given this state of affairs
Well,
na Metro
EDSA is
Manila?
just one traffic street. Yun lang ang madalas. Everywhere is traffic. Traffic should be addressed. And as a matter of general approach, you know, I think we can duplicate our roads vertically. We should create more connectors from not only from the north and south, but I think it's high time for us where east meets west type of vertical roads to ease and create more spaces for vehicular traffic to move better and efficiently.
So, more roads lang? How about transport?
Hindi,
for
tinatanong mo
people na
traffic
walang
eh.
kotse? Hindi, kasi sa state, parang some people would say that another solution would be trains, bus rapid. I mean, anong take mo dun sa mga ganung solution?
Well, trains is good, but I hope that the countries who are good like Japan, Korea, and other countries, European countries will invest in our country, then so be it. But I cannot just wait for this country to invest and let the people suffer, not addressing the said traffic. And I think duplication of roads and creating more space for vehicles is the immediate and kayang gawin ng pamahalaan in the long term.
Wala kayong plan to expand the train network? Something like that? Or
Yeah.
Sorry?
Sobra na yung...
Hindi, sige, no. It's okay, Pia.
Yeah, wala po kayong plan to expand the train networks?
Alam mo, madaling mangarap. With all honesty, I like that. Why not? If straightforward. And I hope the private investor, foreign investor, please expand our train system. You'll welcome to the Philippines. But again and again, ayaw kong isasaalang-alang ang kinabukasan ng mga Pilipino sa palad ng ibang tao at ibang bansa. We, as a country, must be resilient, must be innovative, must address and confront this problem. We cannot go and wait for the investor to come in. What if there is none? Then the people of Metro Manila or the country will suffer. So I think the immediate and doable, alam niyo naman yon, nararamdaman niyo din naman yon, if we create more skyways vertically, I mean, like create more space na kayang-kayang gawin, kayang-kaya ng mga private sectors in the country, it's existing and it's been ongoing, then we must be aggressive doing so. Then, if there is train costs money and more expensive to build. Private sectors, whether in the Philippines, if they will, or private sectors or private corporation outside of this country will come in, welcome po kayo sa Pilipinas. But as a leader, if given a chance, I'll confront it by creating more space for our vehicular traffic. Space occupied by matter, lesser space. So we know for a fact, population will grow, and hopefully the economy will grow, more people will acquire vehicles, and we need more space for highly urbanized metropolis like Manila, Metro Manila, in Visayas, and maybe in Mindanao.
Okay, thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Dr. meron kang additional
Pia, very interestingly din sa point mo, na may three magic words in the platform of health na makakatuwaan ng mga nurses. Number one, yung scholarships, kasi we have to continue to supply. Number two, yung regularization. For your information, more than 50% of our nurses, both in government and private, are contractualized. By the word regularization, which is part of the agenda, we'll be able to keep them, give them security of tenure. And number three, yung equitability, because of the supply chain, na yung ratio, health professional, patient ratio, both in the barangay and in the institutions will be addressed. Very good, very tangible. I think the health sector would love this part of the agenda because it's very tactically short-term focus and strategically long-term addressing the demand. Kasi hindi natin po kayang tapatan ang offers ng Europe at America pagdating sa sweldo. And if there's a carrot that we can provide our health workers, it's the security of tenure. And it's here. Thank you. Thank you for that.
On the issue of the traffic and the provision of trains, tama po kayo na sa Metro Manila napakarami pong cities and municipalities that we have to integrate. So each of the municipalities and cities would pass their own comprehensive land use plan. Kaya nga po nasa agenda rin po natin to come up and pass the national land use plan to integrate all of this.
Willie?
At add ko lang Pia doon sa mga private hospitals. Basically, basta magbayad lang yung PhilHealth. Magbayad lang sila on time, walang red tape, makaka-hire na ng more nurses, more doctors. Kaya sila hindi makaka-hire kasi hindi sila binabayaran ng PhilHealth. Kaya marami nga nag-welga at umaalis sa PhilHealth. Ito talagang source ng income ng private hospitals.
And for the record, let it be known to all na ang private hospitals are catching up to the salary. Mas mataas ang sweldo ng government. Ito ang malungkot kaya palang magsweldo ng gobyerno, ng job order na mataas, pero ba't hindi makagawa ng plantilla na kung tutuusin ng sweldo mas mababa? Ang meron lang difference is the security of tenure. Yun ang gusto ng health workers, the security of tenure. That attaches them to the work. At somehow mabablock niya yung offer ng ibang bansa.
Coach Carino, ABS-CBN.
Good umaga po. Mayor, dun po sa context ng increased spending sa infrastructure, scholarships, education, and napansin ko rin yung 2% increase sa R&D, Research and Development. Paano po gagawin yun sa first 2 years kung ang ipapamana ng gobyerno ay 13.9 trillion projected na utang?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I think at any given time, it's a matter of for an administrative purposes, administration. Yung kung ikay may direksyon, may giya ang gobyerno mo, you will utilize efficiently whatever is left or available in terms of resources. Now, creating such agenda is, you'll see that the priority is of the next administration under our watch will be on that journey. Yes, kung ano ang natitira, resources, at kung ano pang mga resources existing on hand, owned, but underutilized, non-performing assets of the government will be disposed. Because these type of assets may be bukod sa non-performing or underperforming, turn out to be liability. So slim, mas masino, mas epektibo, and hopefully mas efficient. So yun ang gagawin nating pagbibigay ng prioridad sa paggamit ng resources na natitira pa sa gobyerno. With regard to, are we going to take loans? Para straightforward na, tumangko na yung why not? Bakit naman hindi? As long as it is allowed. Kaya pa ba? O, pwede pa ba? Then third, Land Bank of the Philippines and Development Bank of the Philippines is one of the medyo liquid na bangko ng gobyerno. Diba? Baka, I'll cross the bridge when I get there. Baka, meron tayong mga salapi na natutulog, hindi nagagamit fully for a particular purpose. Then we can, as president, we can persuade it or direct them to utilize such funds to develop particular industry in our country. Yung R&D kasi para magka-idea kayo, ay I think na nakita nyo na to nung in-interview ako nung nakaraan po. Talagang I think napapanahon na to utilize fully the UST, the ICT, other agencies to develop our own medicines, our own vaccine maybe, even other medicines. I think it's high time for us to invest into that. Then, hopefully, in the job creation purposes, makapag-develop. Thank you.
Ichi Kabayan from People's Union.
Morning po. In your 10-point agenda, among those mentioned is good governance and smart governance. And also mentioned there is political inclusion. My understanding of this is that you are willing to form alliances with your political rivals post-election. If so, how far are you willing to go? Kindly expound. Thank you.
Well, one, the administration, given a chance, will be based on, those who will work with our administration will be based on merit, skills, and talents. Okay. That's the North Star of hiring and including people in our government. Then, and you're right, we'll never know what's the result of the election. Kung sino-sino ang mga mananalong halal ng bayan. And if you remember, noong October, I promised you, I committed to you that I can work with anybody. How far can I go? As long as yung gagawin nila, yung participation nila, kapakinabangan ng tao. I don't mind. Because yun nga, election, isang araw, o halal ka na ng bayan, you have to work within the system. Yung pagtulong-tulong ba, sort of say, ako doon ako na rin. Kaya, makikita ninyo later on, makakakita kayo ng iba't ibang kulay ng politika, makakakita kayo ng iba't ibang edad sa gobyerno, sa administrasyon natin, at makakita kayo ng mas maraming bata sa gobyerno. Lamang ang bata sa gobyerno natin. Now, yung smart and adapting to technology, that's what we did with Manila. The people of Manila had an opportunity to pay online without, doing their obligation as a citizen of the city without going in City Hall. Now, in the case of some agencies, income-generating agencies, for example, collecting agencies, BIR, or custom, kung maalala mo, Ichi, nung araw sabi ko, yung drum, kahit nabuhusan mo ng buhusan ng tubig, kapag ang drum may butas, hindi mapupuno ang drum. Pero pag ang drum, lahat ng butas nilagyan mo ng bubble gum, naturally, kahit papatak-patak lang ang tulo, aapaw din ang drum. So that's how we conceive yung efficiency in terms of collection. Hindi tayo nagtaas ng buwis, hindi tayo nagpahirap sa tao, sa hirap ng dinaranan sila, pero pumapasok sa kaban yung ng tama, ng masino, yung mga income ng gobyerno. And I think darating ng oras, magiging kumbinyente para sa ating mga kababayan na pag tinutupad na nila yung tungkulin nila sa Estado by adapting to existing technology. The same thing with our education and all other things in government transaction. Yung inclusion, so yan may...
bilis kilos kasi, di ba, Ma'am Itzy tayo. Nakita natin sa one of the highest cases in law na fina-file ay sa COMELEC level. Political, hindi mo ma-accept na natalo ka. So definitely after May, marami pong mga mayors natalo. And so you're asking us ano yung resolutions, paano magkaroon ng political healing, even at the local level, pero kasi syempre doon ako nanggagaling. And I think one of the provisions namin dito, statements na champion peace and order, syempre hindi mo ma-influence ang COMELEC, hindi mo ma-influence ang mga LGU ASAP eh. But when I saw, what I saw in Mayor Yorme, if siya ay papalarin, pupuntahan yung DILG, lalagyan ng tao, na pwedeng, sabihin mo DILG Secretary heal out, reach out. Yung mga makakalaban, hindi vendetta kasi that's what you showed to us eh. Mayor Yorme reaching out to his political enemies in Manila and getting them to be also part of governance in a way. So yun ang appreciation ko at least for the way Manila was handling governance na sa amin sa provinces where a lot of the expenses is really for political vendetta. Ang laki ng gastos po talaga. Hatred and arms, patayan. Di ba po, where I'm coming from. So this is also call out siguro na as we launch on February 8, yung ating proclamation and as we go towards the political trail, manalo matalo po, this is a time na our political leaderships and I affirm that Bilis Kilos has the necessary formulas in place, hopefully with representatives in education, law, and ako in peace and inclusion, na it's time for, in this pandemic, talagang pinakita sa atin talaga na kailangan po political, social, economic unity. At ang kalaban is after election is hindi na kalaban. At may mekanismo, whether it be at the DILG level, whether it be at the OPAP or peace level, na kailangan kasama ang kalaban. In a way, maging consultant ba siya, maging kung anong mekanismo man yan, nakasama siya sa governance.
Next question.
Yes.
Basta may talent.
Meritocracy.
Importante yun.
And I think, Ma'am Itzy, yan doon ang appreciation ko sa digitization. I mean, this group na ang malaking bias niya is digital. For a place na kulang ang wifi namin mag-aral po, grabe po. Lowest in HDI, lowest in educational, ni isang faktorya nasa amin. Wala pong investor sa mga kumpanya. Digital access is power access to participation. Malaking bagay po itong digital sa amin, sa mga probinsya at Mindanao.
Next question.
Yes. Good morning po sa lahat. Good morning, Yorme. Good morning sa mga senators and Lupili. Yung question ko po is add-on na lang doon sa mga nagawa ni Yorme kasi ako, I honestly believe na wala na siyang dapat pang gawin. Additional lang to. Yorme, I would like to ask po, yung mga street people, especially the street childrens po na laging nasa yung mga nanghihingi ng limos. How are you going to engage with them po? Or paano mo po sila bibigyan ng solusyon para kumbaga maging mawala sila sa kalsada para magkaroon sila ng masarap na buhay o maayos na buhay with the help of the state of the Philippines dahil we believe na you will be the one for this year as president. Thank you.
Yun na nga, kapag kabahan at pamilya, binibigyan mo ng pagkakataon na magkaroon ng bahay, ng trabaho, access to school, access to healthcare. I think it boils down to minimum basic needs. If you invest into this, naturally, mawawala itong ganitong mga insidente sa ating lipunan. And that, hindi lang nangyayari yan sa Pilipinas. Mas malala pa nga sa ibang lugar. But at the end of the day, sa akin lang, I'll continue doing what ano yung tingin mo makakabuti sa isang nanay, isang tatay. Kasi at the end of the day, DSWD, for that matter, is a very very powerful and napakagandang ahensya ng gobyerno na maitama lang natin yung siguro purpose nila in the coming months. In the case of City of Manila, meron kami sa Marikina, as you all know, meron pa nga kami, tinangananan namin talaga noong panahon ng pandemya, yung mga basketball court natin, naging temporary shelter. So many things that can be made available para sa mga nahihirap nating kababayan, lalo na nasa kalsada. Now, yun namang the other side of the story is yung mga sindikato. May mga individual naman, mga enterprising individual, sila Eddie, papapanagutin naman natin yun sa mata ng batas. Kasi hindi yan kaila sa inyo. May mga ilang individual na kinukuha yung pagkakataon ng kahirapan ng mga kababayan natin at iniinganyo pa sila sa kalsada. So, sa akin, hindi natin i-tolerate.
Santos from Tribune.
Sir, dalawang tanong ko sa kay Sir Dito Banayo. Sir Dito, recently ito ng naging controversy sa ni Guanzon ng Comelec.
At doon muna tayo sa 10 Next round yung sa politika. Tapusin lang natin, baka may magkakaroon.
Siguro mga
Sige. Ito meron pa ako isang baon kay Mayor.
Last 2 questions for the 10-point agenda.
Mayor, tungkol to sa food sufficiency. Alam natin, yung food is a matter of national security. Sinasabi niya. Ngayon po, 110 million ng population kumakain na araw-araw yan. Ang bigas po, hindi natin maintindihan kung sapat tayo, bakit pa tayo kumukuha. Sir, sa term mo ba, ma-identify mo ba talaga yung present situation at saka yung tulong na gagawin mo sa sektor ng mga magsasaka? Ngayong napakamahal ng feeds, mahal na rin yung mga fertilizer na sabi mo. How do you address these things na nakakatakot? May panibago na namang virus, wala na naman labasan.
Anong virus? Meron ba?
Baka sir, hindi natin alam eh. Ayoko na ipanalangin yung virus. Pag dumating sir, deplete yung natin. Ang asa na lang natin yung local production. Mga kapitbahay din natin ayaw magbenta. What is your take sa sitwasyon?
Well, yun nga, kanina, binanggit ko na I offered you some information to be validated ninyo. No? Talagang hindi titigil ito pagtaas ng mga bagay na ginagamit ng ating mga magsasaka. And these things should be addressed. With regard to yung primary, yung rice, no? May sinabi na ako sa publiko na bibili ng pamahalaan. Bibili ng pamahalaan sa tamang presyo. Because food security is #1 threat to national security. We'll buy and guarantee our farmers na hindi sila malulugi. Ang minimum nila tabla. I mean, kasi ngayon, let's just say because sabi nga kanina ni Ambassador Banayo, we've been going around 5 of us. Isang sa mga kwento ron, 18 puhunan, 12 ibenta. So, kaya kung bakit talaga yung iba, hindi na ikayat ng tanim. Tapos yung middleman is another thing. Third, yung presyo ng kuryente at presyo ng crudo, yung taxes nito will be cut into half to cushion the socio-economic impact ng pandemya sa buhay natin as tayo at yung epekto nito sa farmers. sa agricultural products para yung hindi tayo masyadong tamaan no nalalapit na masamang epekto ng mataas na inflation rate sa Estados Unidos. I think mararamdaman na natin unti-unti yan later on as we progress because talagang pinatamaan na yung ibang bansa. So these are the things that we guarantee. Fourth, archipelagic country tayo. Bakit yung galunggong ini-import natin? I mean, metaphorically, galunggong ba? Isda. Bakit ini-import natin yung isda? So we guarantee you that we will fish in every body of water that are available in our country. Our fishermen will be fishing in every fishing ground in the country to secure them of earnings, of course, or livelihood, but at the same time to secure the country of agricultural, mga pangisdaan o isda o pagkain sa ating bansa. Yes.
Thank you, Pat.
Tapos yung kalapat, sabihan mo yung mga kakilala mong smuggler. Kung may kilala ka man. Ako tapos ko. Kung may kilala ka man. Sabihin mo sa kanila, magbago na sila ng linya. We guarantee every Filipinos walang pagkain papasok sa bansa natin na illegal, masama ang quality, underrated, and so on and so forth. We will protect each and every one of you, each and everyone's interest. At yung ating mga farmer, pagka pinalad po tayo, magtanim kayo ng magtanim. Sisiguraduhin ko na kapag magtatanim kayo ng sibuyas, magtatanim kayo ng bawang, I'll make sure na yung bawang ninyo mabibili dahil I will look into it personally during harvest time that no importation permit will be signed during harvest time. Kasi napapansin ko kung kailan mag-aani na yung mga magsasaka kung maka-issue ng import permit ay 5-5. Kaya itong mga magsasaka natin dahil flooded ng mga particular agri-products sa market, kaya wala silang kalaban-laban sa presyo. The tendency is malugi sila o bentang lugi. So yan, but I think it's high time for any person who will be appointed to particular bureau that these things will not happen sa panahon ng pag-ani at kung may sapat na bilang ng ani para sa bawat hapag ng ating pamilyang Pilipino sa dulo ang importation. We buy our own. Magtanim na kayo, pala rin ako, sigurado kikita kayo, papanatag kayo, at magiging feasible ulit ang pagiging bahagi mo ng agricultural industry. We'll make it more easy. Thank you.
Sako Barona from Manila Times.
Foreign relations is an important aspect of the economy.
Sorry?
Foreign relations
Foreign relations
is an important aspect of the economy. So, particularly foreign direct investments. What will be the foreign policy administration and how will you handle the West Philippine Sea?
Okay. Again, no, FDI is very important. If I'm not mistaken, about $4 billion meron ng Pilipinas na FDIs, foreign direct investment. While our neighboring countries in the region is enjoying 13, 20, $30 billion of foreign direct investment. One of the major reasons, of all so many reasons, marami naman reasons, is napakamahal ng utilities natin. Mahal ng crudo, ang mahal ng kuryente, unstable ang connectivity ng internet. So that's why I've said that we'll cut into half. Initially, tayo ang tatamaan, consumer, ng pagbabawas ng buwis sa crudo at buwis sa kuryente. On a bigger picture, a macro effect is to be competitive to our foreign country, neighboring countries, so that investors will come in. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, napakalambot ng dila natin. We can always adapt to things. Ang bilis ng, meron tayong asset na communication skills, no? Na madali nating naipalalaban sa ibang bansa. Tapos, mapapanatag mo sila na certain yung rules, that you continue to recognize contracts, valid contracts, that there is certain level of continuity. No? Tapos predictable ka, you don't change things in the middle of the ballgame. No, hindi yung minuto pagkatapos ng isang administrasyon, ipakukulong yung isang administrasyon na nakaraan, gantihan dito, gantihan doon. Kaya natatakot tuloy yung investor, kaya hindi sila makapag-invest in a long term. So these are the things that will encourage foreign investors in our country. And with regard to West Philippine Sea, very clear. Nanalo tayo sa Hague, we will insist on it. We'll go to a particular organization, which the same country, China, is also a member. Anong ginagawa ng ating mga partners? And there is yung mga partners nating bansa. Nasaan sila ngayon? Baka kailangan natin sila ngayon. That's one. But with regard to trade, we continue to trade with our neighboring countries, and that includes China. Trade or economic development, economic relationship with China is far different with the firm stand natin with WPS. Whatever is there, diyan ka muna, Brad. Yung lumaki pa sila, I don't think it will happen under my watch. Hindi na sila makakagit pa ng hindi katiting na buhangin kung meron mang papalakin pa sila in the future. We're gonna deal with it legally. We're gonna protect the interests of every island in the country. Then, makikipag-negosyo tayo sa kanila. Kung meron man iba pang future na negosyo within the area, then so be it. We'll try to be fair dealing with any countries, and that includes China. But ang basta ulit-ulitin ko, ang garanti ako sa mga mangingisdang Pilipino, makakapangisda kayo sa West Philippine Sea. And the third, safe, panatag, at that regard.
Next question. Hi, sir. You're going back to your agenda, so I have two questions on health and infrastructure. You mentioned here in your first 1,000 days, 107,000 hospital beds. Can we get more details on how do you plan to communalize this in your first 1,000 days, and what are the regions that you want to allocate these? Supposedly the regions that have the most shortage of hospital beds, where you want to allocate this. And second, in terms of infrastructure, you have a tri-modal transport system.
seaports, road, in airports, but railways wasn't mentioned. So since it was asked a while ago, what are your plans on existing railway projects like the Mindanao Railway Project, Subic, and
Yung
TMR?
Mindanao Railway Project tuloy. Lahat ng rail. I think it's very clear that when I mentioned tutuloy natin yung build. I think it's all encompassing. Whatever they have started. Whether anong train yun, yung nasa ilalim, subway, sa ibabaw ng lupa, o sa taas ng lupa, anywhere in the country. Kung nandiyan na yan, tuloy yan. Now, with regard to yung 1,000 days, that is doable. Kasi, build nga yung hospital ng Maynila in less than 2 years. So, what happened in Manila, building as much as possible is this upscale type of public hospital that can be duplicated to easily and initially to 17 regions simultaneously. Because I think we've learned our lesson already as a country. Nagulantang tayo lahat na kailangan natin ng pasilidad nung nangailangan ng tao nung na-infect sila ng COVID-19 in the 2020 incident. So from there, you can pick up the phase of building, and that can be done. So it's a matter of reallocation, whatever is there. Now, doon sa pat nakalimutan ko lang, nag-share ko sa iyo. Meron ka isang tanong na ano yun yung kasiguruhan ng taong kakain. Okay. There is about 300 billion pesos appropriation for ayuda. Pat gagawin ko 600. Kakain ng tao. Kung anong ginawa natin doon sa food box, yung ayuda sa Manila, it can happen to the entire country. Just so you know, in passing lang. So now, going back to the infrastructure, yes, we'll build more roads that can create business, job opportunity, and for our farmers access to, kasi yung mga parkland areas, no? Medyo nahihirapan sila kaya nagmamahal yung cost ng agri-products going to the nasa kapatagan. And hopefully, the private sector, the way it happened, where two islands are connected by a bridge done by Philippine corporation in the country in less than 2 years. So, if that is possible, then let's look for other islands to create more economic movement in 2 or 3 islands adjacent to each other, divided by, pinaghihiwalay ng tubig na baka kaya through technology, engineering, existing engineering technology, plus yung pera ng private sector, Philippine corporation, sa atin. Si ano yan nung yung gumawa sa Cebu, MVP, group of companies, in the likes of that kind of corporation, we'll invite them. We'll be aggressive on PPPs. Yung sino ba yung mga nagtanong tungkol sa utang? Yung kanina. So, ang goal naman natin is balik natin yung aggressiveness natin with the private sector to participate.
Teka muna, hanap ang gimbal ko.
Since you mentioned yung 1,000 days, first 1,000 days, kasi yung, as I was going through your agenda, it was, yung pala yung nakita ko na doable, as you said, the first 1,000 days. So do you have other 1,000-day promises that may not have been mentioned there?
Less promises, less expectations. Gulatin na lang kita. Ang modest kasi. Kasi gusto lang natin, presenting it to you today, at least pagkakaroon ka na ng idea or radar. If may awan Diyos, pala rin ako, ito ang direksyon niya. So with this, may singilin na kayo sa akin. May hahanapin na kayo sa akin. May mapanghawakan na kayo. Na at the very least, ito yung pupuntahan ng ating buhay sa susunod na 10 taon. It may happen in 6 years, it may happen, maybe the effects of it, hopefully in 10 years, maybe it may happen in 2 years or 3 years, depends. But one thing for sure, give me a chance, something will happen.
Thank you. Marisa Mali.
Good morning, Mayor and
Ayan, balik na.
Mayor, good morning. You mentioned in your 10-point economic agenda a while ago that life and livelihood are your most urgent concerns, and one of the most basic necessities, of course, that fall under this is water. How do we plan to address this, considering that there are a lot of areas in the metro right now which are experiencing extended periods of time having problems with water interruption problems, not to mention the Angat level, the Angat dam level reaching its critical level already. We've interviewed the NWRB just a while ago, and they are concerned with the fact that it might also reach the 180-meter level, which is the worst case scenario that they are seeing, Mayor.
In Metro Manila, walang masyadong concern sa access to clean, potable water. I think the data will show us about 97% of our population is connected and have an access to clean, potable water in Metro Manila. In the likes of Northern Luzon, for example, 33% of them are not connected to potable, clean water. And another province in the south, about 57% are not connected and don't have an access to clean, potable water. So when we say clean, potable water, is that there are facilities that are not existing, whether you have a dam or not, but the people, the consumer, walang access sa clean, potable water. So, in the case of presentation namin, we'll build more infrastructure and hopefully private sector will come in to give opportunity for every household in this country to have clean access to clean, potable water. Now, yung patubigan naman natin dito para sa Metro Manila, well, the challenge of having a dam is yung pag-iipon ng tubig. In the case of the Philippines, pag tag-init talaga, hirap na hirap tayo maka-ipon ng sapat na tubig. But at the end of the day, I think with the science available and other technologies that are available, we will pursue that journey, accessing whatever available technology that is happening in the world to provide ample, secured, clean source of water. Kung paano sisinupin sa langit, kung paano sisinupin sa bundok, I think we must secure our people of clean, potable water. But in our case, today, what matter most is magkasabay siya, kailangan yung tao makakagamit ng gripo. But that is not existing, especially in the northern part of northern region. Malaki yung portion ron. Wala silang, ironically, wala silang access to clean, potable. And when I was shocked when I saw it, akala ko alam mo, sagot ko po na,
Ibalik ko muna sa
sumali ba tayo?
tripod.
I mean, in this time, how these things are not available. You can speak of all the bridges and roads that you can create. Yung, may nagulyo, diba? Kaya all the things, kaya sabi ko lagi, all the things that we
Sorry,
wish for,
kanina
dream of.
ang init na kasi ng gimbal.
Minsan nasa harapan lang natin yung problema. Kaya isinama ko yun, nung nakita ko yung data, and I said to the team, isama nyo yan, ibibigyan ko ng attention niya. Kasi this is just water. Dito rocket science na mahirap gawin. How come that a particular province, the Northern Luzon, walang 33% of them has no access. Meron pa ako isa research ulit. Meron pa nga isang probinsya, 8% ng access. Tayo, pag papakinggan natin sa tenga natin to dito sa Metro Manila, parang walang dating kasi hindi naman natin talaga na-experience yun. Ako, squatter na nga ako, may access pa ako sa clean potable water. Hindi natin nararamdaman sa Metro Manila. Pero in the provinces, wala. Kaya, kung titingnan ninyo ang DOH, maraming mga sakit na, ayun, alam mo, sinabi na nito, na maraming insidente ng sakit na involved because sa maraming tubig. Is that true, Doc? Then you,
Yung tubig talaga actually nga sa mga pag-aaral baka in the next 20 years yung tubig magiging very precious resource na parang gasoline na yan Tsaka ang dami talaga namamatay lalo ng mga bata, below 5 years old, diarrhea, walang clean potable water, talagang priority, unahin natin na mabigyan ng malinis na tubig.
Kaya kung mapapansin ninyo, modesty aside, yung approach is tinitingnan yung bawat sector and you give more importance on things that are continue to exist. It's supposed to be na-resolve na yan. Supposed to be na-resolve na siya. Kasi makabagong panahon kaya parang come to think of it. You talk of irrigation para sa farmer. Pero walang tubig sa bahay ng isang tao. Yung klaseng kalungkutan kaya mararamdaman na. So, we talk of connectivity sa internet. We talk of connectivity sa kuryente. Dapat may state. Pero yung tubig, water is life. Mabubuhay ka na walang kuryente, pero hindi ka mabubuhay ng walang tubig. Mano pa kapag ang tubig na tangan-tangan mo o gagamitin mo ay napakarumi. See? Kaya there's so many problems. As a country, maraming mga problema. Ngayon minsan nga, parang sa iba, parang maliit lang. Pero ako, kahit ako, nagulat ako. Kaya nga Somalia ba tayo? Wala tayong access sa tubig. We have so many rainforests. I mean, marami tayong gubat, marami tayong pwede mag-shed, watershed. So hopefully, those people who will be appointed in DPWH, in DNR, will have a certain level of synchrony in this problem of ours. So the one is infrastructure, the one is the environment. May awa Diyos. It's a matter of arranging these things. Anyway, may awa Diyos.
In addition to that, let it be known that 11,373,000 schools out of 46,000 schools, about 25% of them do not have access to water. 8,000 schools are just catching rains. That's for the record. That's a breeze of the deputy. So you can just imagine a child staying in school for 3 to 4 hours without water.
And in addition, for a country that is top-notch in crisis and disaster, water is definitely a must in evacuation. WASH, water and sanitation health. So when Mayor Yorme puts a deadline on Marawi rehabilitation, the worst urban destruction of our generation right now, currently, he puts a timeline deliverable, hopefully. Kasi when you put timelines, you're supposed to observe. May accountability ka dyan eh. Magsasabi ka ng deadline, gagawin mo yun. May contractor eh. So pag tubig, major po yan. Babae, hindi makaka-serve ng food. Basta walang tubig. Gastroenteritis po. Karamihan ng sakit namin sa Southern Philippines Public Hospital po na Marawi, Amay Pakpak, which serves Northern Mindanao, Iligan, Cagayan de Oro City. So can you imagine if water is scarce, water security is our issue of the day? So napaka-importante po yung platform in issue on water.
Last question for Bilis Kilos. Last question. So second round na. Other issues? Pa. Yung tinatanong mo kay Ambassador Banayo.
Gigil ako sa tanong. Controversial itong dissenting opinion ni Kong Guanzon, ano?
Dissenting?
Dissenting ba yun o whatever? Para tawag na.
Pro disqualification.
Anyway, kung alam na naman natin yung sir, anong effect nito sa candidacy ni Mayor Isko po ngayon? Kasi makikita mo sa social media, may nagsasabi, nilipat lahat. Yung lipatan, how do you see yung sa experience po po sa tagal niya sa ganitong, sir kayo, sir dito?
Okay. Una-una, Mayor Isko and Doc Willie started this application to be President and Vice President of the Philippines without thinking kung sino makakalaban. You will remember that in September, ang talagang matunog na lalaban na pagka-presidente ay si Mayor Inday Sara. No? Wala naman sigurong balakid kay Mayor Inday Sara na legal obstacle to her being running for public office. Kaso nga, yung series of events na nangyari, nagkaiba-iba at nabaliktad si former Senator Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ang naging presidential candidate at nag-vice presidential candidate na lang si Mayor Inday Sara. So, for us, it really doesn't matter kung sino kalaban mo. Basta determinado kang lumaban, determinado kang manalo, so you gear your campaign strategies accordingly. Of course, nagpapalit-palit ng environment during the 90-day campaign period and even before the 90-day campaign period. So whatever adjustments you have to do, you have to do. Dynamic yan eh. No? If you will remember also, dun sa marami na rin nagdaang halala natin, I think in 2004 for instance, ang kandidatong sinuportahan ko noon ay natalo, si Senator Ping Lacson. Pero makikita nyo na napakalaki ng agwat ni FPJ kay incumbent President GMA nung panahong ito. No? Pero siguro dahil sa si nasirang FPJ ay hindi nag-a-attend ng mga debates at interviews, maaaring naka-apekto yun. So, medyo nagkita ng labanan at the end of the day. You will also remember that in 2016, for instance, I think a lot of people will agree or will have observed na si Vice President Binay na nangunguna, pati na rin si Senator Grace Poe, doon siguro sa mga debate nagkaroon ng turning point. To a lot of people. So the dynamics of a campaign do not depend on who the candidate is, who the front runner is at this point. It depends on what every competitor will do in the next 90 days. So ganyan. Even if you look at the surveys, malaki-laki pa rin yung undecided. Number two, napakalaki nung may second choice. No? Napakalaki nung may second choice. Kung basta ano, so it all depends. Ano? Pero kasi hindi namin pwedeng pakialaman yung decision ng COMELEC. It's an independent constitutional commission. No? Whatever and however it decides, alam rin naman natin na ang final arbiter nito will be the Supreme Court. No? Because the issues at hand, hindi kayang court of first instance lang, o court of first resort lang ang COMELEC. The court of last resort is really the Supreme Court. So yun yata yung pinaglalaban ni Commissioner Juanzon, na parang dingi-delay para rin ma-delay din ang Supreme Court. No? Parang gano'n ang kanyang pananap. Well, hindi tayo makakapaggawa ng any official comment on that because that is the province of the COMELEC. Thank you.
Next question. Apia. From Butler.
Mayor, dun sa Jessica Soho debate, you said that when you were asked, do you think the ICC should prosecute Duterte? Sabi mo no. Pero yung interviews before, you were saying na open kayo to allow ICC investigators to enter the Philippines and carry out it. So, can you just expound, why do you think the ICC should not prosecute Duterte for the
One, the entry of ICC and prosecuting, the question of prosecuting President Duterte is too far different. One, entry, you're welcome. You come here. You want to investigate? Go ahead. Walang problema. And you ask your lawyer, can ICC prosecute any Filipino with an existing, any Filipino in the country as a state with an existing, running, and effective justice system? We have MTC. Do we have MTC? Do you all agree? Do we have RTC? You just asked a while ago. Nabanggit ni Ambassador Lito, Supreme Court, Court of Appeals. These are existing courts, and justice system is intact in the Philippines. Can they prosecute? Because I don't know, I'm no lawyer. As far as I'm concerned, the way I understand ICC to function, for them to interfere, is merong mga abuso sa karapatang pantao ng isang bansa sa kanyang mamamayan na walang nagaganap na justisya o walang makamit na justisya at hindi tumatakbo yung justice system nila. In the case of the Philippines, we have, right department and bahagi ng pamahalaan. Tumatakbo, epektibo, and any John Doe and Mary, every Pedro and Petra, can avail of their constitutional rights under our system. So prosecuting it, why would I prosecute? The question of Madam Jessica spoke, the answer is no. I prosecute somebody if I don't have anything in my hand.
Yes, sir. Yeah. ICC mag-prosecute. So,
they cannot prosecute. I'm no lawyer. But as far as I believe, ICC cannot prosecute somebody in our country, Philippines, with an existing justice system. They can only interfere on countries, disturbed countries. Let's just say, ano ba pinakamalalang bansa ngayon? Somalia? Wala ba silang justice system? No? Wala silang court? O Syria? I don't know. I cannot name a country for that matter. But we have an existing one. Valid, effective, and all Filipinos will be prosecuted if cases will be filed against them in our court, in Philippine court, under our constitution. Because the job of the president, my job, if elected as president, to protect each and every citizen Philippine citizen, whether nasa Pilipinas o nasa ibang bansa, to protect the interests every Filipino citizen.
Sir, let's say ICC were to charge the president. While you are president,
Where are they going to charge him?
sa ICC, sa court nila.
Sa court nila? They have to prove that our justice system is not working.
Yes, sir. Pero my question is, if you're president at that time and they come here to, they expect your government to give them access to Duterte,
Oh.
will you allow them?
Access, when you say access to Duterte,
Hand them over.
hand it over, no. My job, see, this is where leadership comes in. My job as a president, future tense lang tayo, elected president, my job is to protect you from any abuse, harm, and your rights are binibigay sa iyo. Whether nasa Pilipinas ka o nasa ibang bansa. Bahagi ng trabaho ng Presidente protection. If there are complaints, the so-called reklamo sa iyo bilang isang suspected criminal, then you will have a day in our court. Our court, Philippine court, whether MPC, RTC, Court of Appeals, or Supreme Court. Second, yung katulad ng mga constitutional body, kung napapaloob ka sa regulasyon nila, you will be given equal opportunity. Ngayon, pag kayo nagkasala, sa mata ng batas natin, papapanagutin kita.
Sir, would your government initiate such a probe or would you wait for us?
Will our government initiate such probe? What probe?
Sir, dun sa drug war abuses.
Yes, why not? Bakit hindi? Kung talagang mapapanatag ko lang ang damdamin ng bawat isa, why not? Under our rules, under our laws. Hindi tayo po pwede kung meron naman tayong existing judicial system, existing laws, then we should go after those who abuse in the past. And that includes the 70s, the 60s, the 80s, the 90s, whoever they are, whether they are rich. Di ba nga, naalala mo yung comment ko? Nga nagnakaw ng 6 na kilo ng manggang matanda eh. Kinulong eh. Iba nga dyan, nagnanakaw, bilyon-bilyon, nakalaya pa, sentensyado na eh. So, that is not certainty. So, I guarantee you with your question, under my watch, everybody will be given equal opportunity to have a day in the court. Under our constitution, under our laws. But, at the same time, somebody were found guilty of such crime. Okay, implement natin kung ano yung sentensya.
Thank you. Next question.
Sure.
Mayor, maybe you also get your comment on some of the criticisms of your rivals in the Buebunde interview. Vice President Andrew Grado said you have no clear stand on certain issues, and somehow Senator Pacquiao also insinuated that you had a corruption issue. Of course, these allegations are particularly different when they were asked about your name, so maybe we could get your comment on those.
One, I did not watch the Vice President interview, so I don't know if she said something like that. And I wish her good luck. With regard to Senator Manny Pacquiao, well, then let me, I sent it to GMA Secretary. Nung kinuhanan ako ng comment ng GMA online. Again, and I'll repeat it today. We would like to thank Senator Pacquiao for giving us such honor and pride to the world of boxing. And yung dangalan na ibigay sa atin, ay hindi natin makakalimutan yun. So maraming salamat sa karangalang binigay sa atin ni Senator Pacquiao sa mundo ng boxing.
Next question.
Next question. Maris.
Mayor, may I just ask, kasi you already released a memo or an order suspending the Chinese New Year celebrations. Now that we're under alert level 2 already in the metro, babawiin niyo po ba yun or will it stay?
It will stay. Ano muna, ang pakiusap ko lang naman. Tingnan natin, baka mamaya magulantang na naman tayo sa Pebrero. Tingnan muna natin yung after effect noong mga ginawa noong January, confronting such surge. No? So far, salamat sa Diyos, salamat sa mga taga Maynila, yung disiplinang binibigay nila at yung mga small effort natin to suppress yung growth ay nararamdaman na ngayon. Kaya kung bakit tayo magle-level. Now, tingnan lang natin, let's play it by ear, kung tutuloy-tuloy yung pagbuti ng infection ng COVID because I think in the long term, it will more beneficial to individuals, business, and yung mga naghahanap buhay, nagtatrabaho in the long term. So, ang tabayanan lang natin.
Comment from ABC5. TV5.
Ayun, sinagot ni Ambalito kanina yung reaction mo about dun sa Guanzon Perolino issue sa Comelec. Baka lang may reaction ka rin dito.
Ano yung tanong?
Naghahamunan na sila ng resignation. Parang
Sino?
Si...
Pasensya ka na, hindi ako tolits eh. Wala nang lites.
Naghahamunan sila ng resignation dahil nga nadidelay yung paglalabas ng reso dun sa degree BBM.
Naghamunan sila. Well, una-muna sila yun eh. Wala namang kinalaman yun sa kakainin mo mamaya, Romel. Yung meron ko ba trabaho bukas? Because I do believe what we should go after is to provide solution, to come up with programs of governance, or if you're still in the office, like me, no? To do my job. Kasi sila naman yun, sila naman na magkaaway na kapitbahay. As long as, I really don't know, kasi personal yung kanila. Wala naman na, hindi naman tayo involved sa problema nila dalawa.
Yung DQ po ni BBM, talagang it doesn't bother you at all.
Ice cream.
Yung disqualification.
Kasi kahapon binigyan ako ng DQ ice cream na binigyan ng sarap yun eh. Ito kasi ng bunso ko yun eh. Wala. Again, it is within the power of the commission. Wala naman akong control. And these are constitutional body. So, it's up to them to decide. Pero tayo, tuloy lang tayo na magpakuna, bumili ng gamot, na mailigtas ang tao, magtayo ng pasilidad, make the vaccine available as comfortable as possible, hindi magambag yung hanap buhay ng mga tao. So, tao muna. Hinayaan ko na talaga yan. Sa totoo lang, hindi naman sa wala naman tayong ikot ngayon, di ba? Dito lang tayo sa Gedling. Hindi ko talaga masyadong binibigyan ng panahon. Saka sila naman yan, sila naman ang may problema.
Baka mapagalitan mo na ako.
Hindi, okay lang. Go ahead.
Tanong. Baka lang may reaction ka raw at itong DOJ. Na-uncover daw yung BBM assassination plot. Baka po kayo may reaction dito.
Na-uncover?
Assassination plot daw.
Sino?
Si BBM.
Sino yun?
Si former Senator Ferdinand Marcos. Assassination plot daw po, baka may reaction kayo. DOJ daw po ang naka-uncover.
Nakakalungkot. Siyempre, ako, as you have heard so many times, I value life. I always give value. I think whoever agencies of government like NBI should look into that claim. I don't know if that is the claim of Ferdinand Marcos Jr., which I don't know. I've never seen anything. Baka puro sabi lang I cannot comment on something that I did not see the candidate saying it. But this thing should not be taken lightly. I think every citizen of the country should be given protection, mapapanatag ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino. O kung talagang may ganyan, o kahit yung kapitbahay ko, halimbawa may threat sa kanya, dapat yung kapulisyahan, mga agencies of government, aksyonan yung mga bagay niya. And I hope hindi totoo. Kasi nung nakarang eleksyon, parang ganun din yata yung kwento eh. So, pero mahirap yun mahirap yun psychologically. Nalulungkot ako kung sino man yun. Pero once and for all, it has to be investigated. If it is true. But for now, mukhang marites naman yun na tolits lang. Sa hirap ng buhay ng tao. Yan. Paano natin mabibigyan ng kapanatagan ng tao more than anything else?
At Santos, Mayor.
Yes.
Politics ulit.
Sure. Hindi, yun na yung ano eh.
Hindi, kanina maganda yung sinabi nyo eh, yung healing after yung election. Kasi may isang kandidato no, na presidential candidate. May maganda siyang panukala, ewan kung okay sa inyo.
Alin po yun?
Natanggalin na yung election sa barangay at gawin na lang appointee yung mga para co-terminus din sa mag-a-appoint. Para hindi umahati yung mga community sector, mga ganun.
Ako, more than anything na mga changes of this, changes of that, what we should focus in is paano ko mapapataas ang antas ng pamumuhay mo pa at ng kapitbahay mo at mga kababayan. More than anything about politics, gusto ko, paano natin mapapataas yung katatayuan ng taong bayan, yung sitwasyon nila post-pandemic, yung hanap buhay, yung trabaho. So there are so many things to change. Why not? I may agree to some of your observation. But, leaders chooses a path, a direction, a journey. Yun ang naghahanap kung anong dapat pagtuunan ng pansin muna while we do and agree with changes or change. Pero hindi ba magandang change yung from mahirap tumaas yung kalidad ng pamumuhay ng tao? Di ba yun ang magandang change? So ang change na gusto ko, yung change na hinahanap natin, yung change na gusto natin gawin, yung change ng ikabubuti ng tao. Kasi yung mga ganung bagay that can be addressed later on. Mga political appointee o political change. Ano naman yan? Politiko lang ang nakikinabang dyan eh. Diba? Ito naman, hypothetical lang. Just for the sake of conversation, my answer to your question is my first statement. But this is hypothetical, this is secondary. Tingnan mo, pag yun ang nangyari, aabusuhin din ng mga halal ng bayan nyo. Di ang i-appoint niya, mga kamag-anak na naman niya, pamangkin niya, pinsan niya, kadugo niya, kapitbahay niya. Naku, Diyos ko, yun na naman. Isang baryo na naman na ma-appoint. Wala nang equal opportunity to others because it will be subject to discretion or capriccio ng isang leader. Ako, I do believe in democracy. In democracy, it is the people who will choose. Now, to safeguard our political situation, ng bansa as a whole, I think we can come up with other things, other ideas. Or let's just say, ito, idea. What if, may awa ang Diyos. Halimbawa lang, bigyan niyo ako ng pagkakataon maging presidente. Ang una kong i-introduce niyo, kung political change tayo, ang una kong introduce sa inyo, sisiguraduhin ko ang mga Ipugaw, magkakaroon sila ng senador. Ang mga Muslim, magkakaroon ng senador. Bakit? Ay gagawin ko, 34 senator. O, 2 bawat region, kasi boboto sila sa region nila. So there will be IPs or sectors, part of government, na magiging bahagi ng Senate. Hindi na sila boboto at large. I don't know if you're amenable with that. But I do believe if you want equal opportunity, equal representation, if we wish for those things, if we wish that everybody will felt inclusive, will felt that they belong, that there will be voice for Bangsamoro, but there will be somebody there who understands their culture, costume, and history. At the same manner with the northern region. Hindi na yung mga anak-anak na lang ng kasi nangyayari sa atin, nagiging franchise. Hindi, I mean, kung politika tayo, no? Politika ang pinag-uusapan natin. At nag-uusap-usap tayo. Ano tayo ngayon ng mga ideas? Pansinin ninyo, ang mga nai-elect, franchise na eh. From one to another with the same surname. Pero yung halimbawa, let's just say, ito si Sam. She's from Marawi, she's from Mindanao. Wala siyang kakayanan gumastos ng 300 million sa ads because yung tatay niya hindi presidente o hindi siya senador. Just imagine that she's been doing social work in their respective region. Pero dahil yung lugar niya ay hindi natin lugar, hindi natin siya maunawaan. So, the probability of being elected in the Senate is very slim. It's not impossible. I'm telling you, ang lahat ng gawa ng tao ay hindi imposible. Diba? But the thing is, what are the chances? Baka slim. Ganun talaga ang hirap ng gagawin namin lahat. But the thing is, if some, yung idea ko, in my own little way, if I'm going to be elected, introduce ko sa inyo, kung gusto nyo lang ng changes politically, and this is one of the idea. What if 2 senador sa bawat region at sa region nila sila hihala? In the case of Sam, she will now have a better opportunity to be part of the national legislatures to protect the interests of his neighborhood or constituency. Now the Senate will have its constituency. So, the people from Samar, which is one of the poorest provinces in the top 20, will have an opportunity to be represented in the Senate. So, lahat ng mga mahihirap na probinsya, magkakaroon na sila ng sarili nilang senador sa riyon nila. At meron ng malapit sa kusina na makikipaglaban sa pagluluto ng mahihain sa kani-kaniyang probinsya. Ngayon, ang mangyayari, dahil malaking botong nakuha dito ng isang senador, medyo may killing ng konti. Dito niya didiinan ng konti yung kanyang appropriation or whatever they're going to do in the Senate. These are the things that may, gusto mo na change, ako yun ang isa sa mga posible nating gawin. So, magkakaroon na, hindi na yung taga Metro Manila lang ang mai-elect na senador. Hindi lang laging taga alta sa syudad ang mai-elect na senador. I have nothing against with the 24 elected senators. I respect them. Good for them. Congratulations. They were given an opportunity. But if we want equal representation in the entire country, na isang Ipugaw, isang taga-Benguet, isang taga-Caraga, isang taga-Car, na taga roon, nasa Senado, representing their people. So, magbibigyan ng equal opportunity. If you want real change, kasi meron na siyang representation. May obligasyon siya. Kaya yun lang yung hypothetical lang tayo.
Last two questions, last two. Bambi, Purisima, Filipino Mirror.
Hello, Mayor. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Ang tanong ko po, if you were elected, amenable po ba kayo na amendang batas, particular to sa tinatawag natin, kasi ang naman natin ngayon presidential form of government, di ba? Tayo po ba kayo, pwede po ba ano po ba kayo dun sa yung two-party system instead of multi-party system?
Two-party system, I do believe.
Kasama na yung sa regional.
Yung two-party system is, I think it's right already. Kasi nangyayari nga, yun, nakita naman natin, nawawala na ng value yung mga pecha ng filing, kasi pwede si ganito, pwede si ganyan. Unlike yung two-party system, I think medyo magkakaroon ng yung pamimili ng representasyon ng kanilang partido. And I think it's high time also for us to look into it. Maniniwala ko ba siya to be presidential? The people should elect
live natin, isalubot na po tayo nito.
directly a president and vice president. At kung gano'n lang, ma'am, sasamahan ko na, duduktungan ko na yun. Bambi. Yung dapat yung vice president, pag na-elect yung president, elected din yung vice president. Para mawala na yung planong kudita o planong takeover, or I'm not saying that there plan, no? Or whatever. Pero alam natin may nangyari. May nangyaring mga bagay na hindi natin inaasahan. But the thing is, mawawala na rin yung vice president, hindi na lang makakontra sa presidente. O pwede siyang talagang tumulong and work within the system. So when we elect a president, automatic dapat elected yung vice president. If we are going to amend it.
Thank you.
Tapos two-party system. Para lagi ng gano'n, laging tandem. Tandem sila. Magtutulungan.